Bridgerton gets therapized. Francesca and John and Samadani, part 2. How are we going to navigate this triangle? And how do you decide who to date, who to marry, who to court, and who to spend your life with? Mended Light. Okay, so this is my second video talking about Francesca and John and Samadani. Samadani is a very noble gentleman and a very distinguished gentleman who Francesca's family, the Bridgertons, just all adore. And this was a match made by the Queen of England. The issue is Francesca finds herself drawn to a quiet gentleman, introspective, named John, who, like her, enjoys silence, enjoys quiet, enjoys thought, and enjoys music. But there's going to be some mixed signals here, which is pretty common in dating and courtship. So let's take a look at how to navigate confusion. Does this person care for me the way I care for them? Are they actually interested? I thought I knew and now I'm not sure. And how do we navigate that? I love the production design on the show, the wardrobe and the sets and the locations.
If the Marquis asks you to dance a second time at the Queen's Ball, it is a clear declaration of interest.
We shall see if he even asks me for a first
The
dance.
Marquis is Samadani.
Something tells me he will. But if that interest is not shared, then...
It's
There's
not.
Lord Kilmartin. Do you know his family?
Not well. They're rather reserved bunch, known to keep to themselves. Are you interested in him?
Good day, Lord Kilmartin.
Francesca. Lady Bridgerton.
You left quite abruptly the other morning.
You had another caller.
I hoped I might see you at the opening of Lord Fuller's collection yesterday.
No, I do not often attend society events unless I'm required to by the rules of good manners.
I see.
So, first of all, Francesca, uncharacteristically bold and forward. I love that she just darts away from her mother to cut John off at the pass to make sure he sees her and they have a conversation. I also appreciate that John, when he backed out, you had another caller. It wasn't cowardice. It wasn't, well, I can't possibly win this. It wasn't self-loathing or insecurity. It was respect. It was saying, oh, there's another, obviously the family was expecting Samadani right now. Everyone's expecting him. I came at the wrong time. I shall see myself out, right? It was respect. And when he says, I don't go to social events unless it is required, by the rules of good manners and good society, you could see it in her eyes like, thank you. Like, this is such an introverted position, right?
Oh, yes!
Because there's shyness and there's being an introvert, and they're not exactly the same thing, even though they're often correlated. Shyness is shyness. I don't like talking to people or I get nervous. Introversion is I recharge being on my own. And she's both. But she sees in him this kindred spirit, and I just love that. I don't like to go to social events. She's like, thank you. Because Samadani does. This entire society is built around social events. She'd rather be with a book or a piano. They're so cute together. I'm already rooting for them. I have not read the books, so I'm excited to see what happens in the second half of this season.
And so, are you stopping to speak with us just to be polite?
I believe you stopped me. Enjoyable music, yes?
If I am being honest, no. The pace is too fickle. Just as you think you are starting to comprehend the melody, the song is over. A song like this would be far sweeter if it were played in 3/4, so one could, in fact, feel the music.
That is helpful. If you'll excuse me.
And he just leaves.
To answer your question, no. I'm not interested in him.
So it's really popular right now, including with me, I've done it, to say, look, this is coded as autistic and on the spectrum. And I'm not saying it's not, but I'm also not saying it is, right? Sometimes we just misread each other, or sometimes we relate differently. That said, there is a parallel here. She stops him on the street, excited to meet him, And she says, so are you stopping to talk to us out of politeness, right? Now, has she forgotten that she stopped him? Maybe. Or is she, I stopped you, but you also stopped. You didn't keep walking. You're engaging with us. And he is just very literal, right? He's very literal, and he says, well, you stopped me. And she feels shut down by this. She feels like he's saying, I'm not as interested as you are. You're the one who stopped me. When he's not saying that, he's just being literal. And then when he just marches off and says, excuse me, I mean, that feels maybe a little on the spectrum, right? Because he doesn't realize that he has hurt her or offended her or made her feel abandoned in this social interaction, because we're going to see what he's actually up to in a later scene. Actually, this scene. Dancing with Samadani.
Miss Francesca.
Lord Kilmartin, I am afraid I am rather parched from dancing with Lord Samadani. So much so that I do not feel much like talking.
Oh, is that not, in fact, our preferred form of communication?
Well, now he sees it. Okay, so look, he may be on the spectrum. He also just might be a guy.
Man.
And he missed everything, right? And overlooked everything. But now he sees it. Now he sees and he registers, oh, she feels slighted because I just walked away. And the moment he gets it, accountability kink activated. Here we go.
You must forgive me for rushing off abruptly last time we met. It is only that I wanted to get you this. I am not a man of many words, and the words I do have, I'm afraid they're not very good. But I do believe in the power of a gesture.
Oh my gosh, what did he give her?
I bought you some lemonade.
Forgive me, Lord Samadani. Mama, I am keen to return home early, if that is all right.
Well, let us find your brother and your sister first.
Of course. Lord Samadani. Lord Kilmartin.
Oh, how excited she is when she looks at him. Okay, so here's what Francesca's not seeing. She literally just did to Samadani what John did to her. She just pieced out of a social engagement when he was trying to connect with her without really clocking that it might be interpreted as rude or dismissive. She's not trying to be rude to Samadani. She's just, there's nothing here, so I'm ready to go. And she's also ready to go because of what John gave her, which we'll see in just a moment. The Queen, of course, notices all of this. And honestly, I know I said that Eloise is probably my favorite character, and that I still stand by that. But Queen Charlotte is like neck and neck.
What is happening?
I believe Lord Samadani was fetching Miss Francesca lemonade. And now she is...
Not drinking the lemonade.
Precisely, Your Majesty. She is not drinking the lemonade.
Charlotte's face. Oh my gosh. The acting on this show is so good. I love that we put so much weight and importance on she's not drinking the lemonade. But what is she really doing? She's doing her own thing. But she's doing it in a way that it's going to turn some heads and it might insult the Queen. But again, she's not seeing it. This is why she and John are so perfect for each other, is when they're in their own head or they're focused on what they want or who they want, they kind of tune out the rest of the world without meaning to. And full confession, I relate to this. I am not a person who ever seeks to give offense or to be rude or to be hurtful, but I totally know what it is to slight or offend or to be rude without realizing that I've done it.
Oops. Sorry.
But what did he give her? Oh, guys, this is so beautiful.
Francesca.
Lord Kilmartin. He had the music we heard earlier this week rearranged exactly as I imagined it.
And when one chooses the heart over the head, Often all reason goes out of the window.
Okay, so we heard Lady Whistledown there at the end when we choose the heart over the head. Often all reason goes out the window. And we're going to see that that was a bridge to another character. In this case, Francesca is choosing both. It's what her heart wants, but also the most practical match. Who would I be most happy spending my days with? John has shown himself to be attentive. Now, it's easy to be attentive because her needs are so closely aligned with his that he sees it, it registers. Samadani, what he wants is so different from her that it would take more to bridge that gap. And Samadani is, at least at this point, I haven't seen what happens in the second half of the season, but he seems like a decent person. But he's not especially keen or attentive to her needs outside of the social mores. The social mores are, here's what you do. You get lemonade at the ball. You bring it to your dance partner, right? And he knows what to do that has been prescribed. One thing that I have learned is to pay attention to the cues and the needs of the person that you are with. And that's romantically, but it's also just the people that you care about. You may think, well, this is how you act, and this is what you do to show consideration. But it's so vital to understand the person in front of you. How do they want to receive love? What makes them feel safe and respected? And true, he marches off. He's so excited to have an idea of how to please her that he just marches off, and for a moment she's brokenhearted. But then she realizes what it was all about. The fact is, Gary Chapman, the 5 love languages, you know, it's a construct, right? It's not necessarily an evidence-based treatment, but it's a powerful construct, and the principle behind it is sound. Everybody gives and receives love in different ways. And John is paying attention to how Francesca needs to receive love. So here's what I want to know from you. How do you like to receive love? How do you like to be loved? Generally speaking, the way we show love is the way we want to receive it, right? So if I'm a physical touch person, then I might hug others or cuddle, right, or hold hands because I want that in reciprocation. If I'm words of affirmation, I'm generally quick to give praise. If I'm quality time or gifts or acts of service, you know, whatever it may be, I'm generally quick to do what I'm hoping to receive back. The real skill is in knowing how you want to be loved, but switching up your game to love the person in front of you as they need it. Let's go back to the beginning, my very first Bridgerton video. Therapist reacts raw to Bridgerton to see how far the show has come and me in my understanding of these characters. Give me some critiques, watch the video. It's going to show up right here somewhere on screen. Until next time, folks, keep shining. We need your light.